Hello everyone and welcome to This Day. Today is Thursday, October 26th, and I'm Bobby Higgins. Coming up, we have the third mutual update with First Vice President Jim Cook. Jim is going to go over the escrow closing documents that everyone signs during the purchase of property in Third Mutual, and he's hoping that this will help to remind residents what they signed and thereby help avoid any future issues. So looking forward to that after the break. Right now, we're going to take a look at today's Stay Informed. The I-5 ramp closure work is continuing on the I-5 freeway, and there is a new closure happening. The northbound I-5 straight-on ramp from westbound El Toro Road is closed right now until about 5 a.m. in the morning on Wednesday, November 1st. So avoid the area if you can, or keep an eye out for electronic message signs for detours. And now taking a look at the weather, it was just absolutely beautiful this morning when I left my house and got into the car. Makes me so happy. But today is partly sunny and cool with a high of 71, a low of 57. By tomorrow on Friday, the clouds will have pretty much moved out and it'll be mostly sunny with a high of 71 and a low of 54. And going into the weekend, temperatures will bump up and we'll have clear, sunny skies. 72 for the high on Saturday, 78 on Sunday, and 80 degrees on Monday. The nights will be cool though as temperatures drop down into the 50s in the evenings. And now taking a look at sunrise and sunset, we have a beautiful sunset picture from Alan Clark. Today's sunrise is at 7:05 a.m. and the sunset tonight is at 6:05 p.m. If you'd like to have your picture showcased here on This Day, please email it to us at lagunawoodsvillagetv@gmail.com. Stay with us. Up next after the break, we have the third mutual update, but first, let's take a look at today's meetings.
What's easier than blowing out 65 candles? Choosing an Alignment Medicare health plan that's tailored specifically to you. Need access to 24/7 telehealth and concierge services? You got it. Members also receive an Alignment Health Plan Black Card with a monthly allowance and rewards for engaging with your health. At Alignment Health Plan, we don't think of these things as extras, just things you deserve. Save your wish for something that isn't healthcare related. Call or visit our website today to enroll in an Alignment Health Plan.
Are you struggling to hear in your noisy dining room? Do you have to pause and think about what people are saying so you can figure out the words? Do you find yourself lost in conversations? Can you hear but you don't understand the words people are saying? You need to get on the Ark. No, not Noah's Ark. This is Stewart's Ark hearing aids with artificial intelligence. You will never know how much better you can hear until you listen to the clear sound and noise right in our office. Call us today. Don't miss the boat and tell them Stewart sent you.
Dr. Farhumand and her associates at Brilliant Smile are excited to announce we now feature cone beam computed tomography. CBCT scans have many benefits over traditional x-rays. They are fast, safe, non-invasive, and provide better care to our patients. The 3D images provide an accurate view of teeth, bones, and soft tissue. It allows us to diagnose and treat more effectively. Also, it features modern diagnosing of sleep apnea by checking the airways and obstructions. Get started today. Call Brilliant Smile, Laguna Woods Village favorite dentist.
At Renew Ketamine Infusion, Dr. Justin Yannick and Dr. Tanya Dahl are board-certified physicians with nearly a decade of experience in ketamine therapy who can help those who haven't found success with other treatments or wish to avoid daily medications. Whether you're struggling with depression, PTSD, anxiety, or chronic pain conditions, our private spa-like clinic focuses on creating the perfect setting for your ketamine treatment. Call us today to schedule your free physician consultation to determine if ketamine therapy is recommended for you.
Welcome back to This Day. Joining me now is First Vice President Jim Cook with Third Mutual. Jim, so good to see you again.
Nice seeing you.
The last time you were on the show was back in June because Kushbada was here in between that time, and he's now retired. And back then you said you got the short end of the stick when you had to come in.
Actually, Cush isn't retired. He was reelected.
He was? Oh,
Yes.
okay. I thought he was retiring. Okay, good. Well, we'll still see him again then. So, yeah, I just wanted to tell you, I kind of went back and looked at that show, and it was like probably one of the very first shows that I had hosted here on this day. And so I just wanted to say thank you because you were so sweet to me. And we've talked a lot about the elections, and you really just educated me and brought me through the whole process. And so I wanted to say thank you for that.
You're very welcome.
So, Jim, just before we get into all the stuff that we need to get into, what for you is most fulfilling about this, being in this position?
Mine is trying to speed up alterations, get that moving forward, not do replication between the city and the community. And we have done. We have progressed. We've gone from 6 weeks from approval of variances to getting it to the board for full approval to 8 days.
Wow, that's a big difference.
And so that makes a big difference for the members that are trying to do remodels.
Yeah, absolutely. Because when you have an idea, when you're finally ready to do it, the hardest part is the waiting. Oh, I got to get my permits, or I got to wait until they're available, or I got to wait till the products get in, or whatever. So yeah, so that's awesome that you've been able to help that so well. And I know you said a little while ago, right before the show, that lately it's been really tough. There's just been a lot of problems to handle. And so today you want to go over the escrow closing documents and to hopefully help alleviate some of those problems not only for the board, but also for the residents.
Yeah, and in that we have 2 pages of documents that are initialed during the close of escrow. There's 17 items on those documents that everyone initials and signs at the bottom. And if everybody would review those 2 pages, we could alleviate a lot of the problems that we have, a lot of the wasted staff time, a lot of the wasted board time, and also avoid penalties and fines and things that come along with not following the rules.
Yeah.
So I just want to go through each one of these, and then I'll embellish on some of them, actually what we end up having to do if they aren't taken care of. So first is the initial. I understand this is a common interest development with rules and regulations regarding residency and alterations to my unit. And I think the reason they put that as the first item is because residency and alterations tend to be the ones that give us the most problems. It's accentuated in other lines of these 17 statements. The next one is, I'm aware that assisted living is not provided, and should I require help, I will need to hire my own caregiver and register that person with the mutual. The problem we run into on this item is people don't register their caregivers with the mutual. And then they get cited, then they get fined, then we have to have a hearing, and on and on. So again, you have to register your caregivers. The next one is, I'm aware of the rules regarding maximum numbers of occupants, that guests may stay for no more than 60 days in any 12-month period, and that guests may not stay in the resident's home if the resident is absent. Again, this is an issue where people get cited, people get fined, we have to have a hearing, and if you just simply read what you signed and follow the rules, it saves everyone money, because anytime this stuff goes on, staff time costs money, hearings take time, staff time costs money, all that money keeps coming out of members' pockets, and that's why we have to raise the monthlies. And then this next one is a very serious one, and this has to do with alterations, and that's, I'm aware I may need to obtain city and community permits before starting any alteration to my unit. I will be financially responsible for the maintenance of any alterations to my manor, even when the mutual performs the work. A little correction to this is, you obtain permits from the city, you obtain mutual consents from the HOA. So that sentence needs to be changed a little bit, but it still says you need to get permission from both the city and the mutual before you start construction.
And so there's a process and paperwork with the mutual that you file to say this is what we want to do, this is what we're going to, and then are you guys the ones that then tell them, oh, this is something that you also need to get a city permit for?
No,
Or
they have
to find
almost
that out?
everything they have to get a city permit for. There's very few things that the HOA does that the city doesn't require permits for. One of the things that the city doesn't require permits for, that a mutual consent is required for, is flat work, like concrete work, pavers, landscaping. Those things have to be done through the mutual, not through the city. But it's very limited. Most everything you do, if you pound a nail, put in a bathtub, put in a toilet, put in a water heater, those things all have to be permitted by the city.
Okay, so you just answered my question, because I was going to ask, is this mostly exterior stuff? But obviously all the examples you gave are interior, so it's definitely interior as well.
Yes. If you look at it simply, the mutual does the pretty and the city does the structural.
Okay.
And we only have the ability to deal to the interior of our walls inside our units. And then a lot of people don't understand that even though it's within a wall of your patio's within a wall, that's still exclusive use common area. It's easier to do things in that. But anything outside that perimeter is common area. And that is very restrictive on what can and can't be done. And some people don't even realize that the ones that have the standalones with the garages, the interior of that garage is exclusive use common area. You can't even do things inside that garage without getting a mutual consent. And it goes so far as the attic space in your unit is common area, which is very restrictive. Even the soffits within your unit, the empty space in those soffits is common area. So you start looking at it, and those restrictions, that's why you're not in a single family home anymore, even if it's a standalone structure here in the village.
Okay, yeah, makes a lot of sense.
Okay, going on to, I'm aware that the mutual insures only the exterior walls of my unit, and I'm aware I will need to seek advice from my own insurance agency regarding condominium insurance for my personal possessions and things inside the manor and any exterior upgrades or alterations that exist in my home. In addition to that, you also want liability insurance, because anything that happens in your unit that causes damage to either mutual property or your neighbor's property, you're responsible for. So you need insurance to cover that.
Okay.
Okay, next one. I'm aware that I will be billed for my real estate taxes from Orange County Tax Assessor, and that my monthly assessments may increase annually. So I've had people in orientation say, well, does my monthly pay for my taxes? And no, it doesn't. And so they emphasize this because they mention it again in one of the other 17 items.
Okay, yeah. It's kind of like when you don't have your taxes, your property taxes built into your monthly mortgage payment.
Right.
You have to pay 2 times a year.
That's
right?
correct. I understand that the mutual endeavors to maintain affordability, but the cost of living in Southern California is continually changing. These costs are reviewed each year, and monthly assessments are adjusted accordingly to maintain and enhance the community. So again, every year we have to look at things and try and figure out, we try to keep the monthly down, but it's impossible to do when inflation and costs and everything else keeps skyrocketing. And the major impact on us is our insurance for the mutual.
And we've gone over that with the budgets and things, and oh, this is the percentage of how much it is going up. And is there a consistent, like each year it goes up 3% or anything like that? Or
no, because we don't know
Yeah.
what's going to happen with the insurance companies. We don't know what other costs are going to rise unexpectedly. And insurance was the biggest deal about 3 years ago when it had to go up the maximum percentage of
Wow.
what it could go.
Okay.
And then you also initial, I have read and understand the last minute reminders on the following page. So now we go to the following page and start there. Laguna Woods is an independent lifestyle and age-restricted community that does not provide any form of health care or assisted living. Each resident is responsible for his or her own health and care and welfare. So again, if you have medical problems, you have to seek your own medical care. If you need a caretaker, like we mentioned before, you have to register that caretaker. And then the next, again, appearance of the community is important. Residents are required to keep their balconies, patios, walkways, and carports free of clutter. This is another issue where we have a lot of occurrences of non-compliance. And then compliance comes out. Again, compliance comes out, gives you a notice, cites you, fines you, we end up with a hearing. If you just follow the rules that are there that you signed at the closing of escrow, you won't do the things that cause all the other things to proceed.
For this one, is it that people, maybe you're cleaning something out and you just don't have anywhere to put it, so it's kind of there temporarily? Or is it people are putting things out that you can't be putting out?
This is where people have filled the area up with clutter and it's stayed there for
A little
time
too
and
long.
time and time. And same with the carports. You know, the carports tend to, you know, we don't have very much room in some of our smaller units. And so you have an overflow of things. And I think some of it happens because people are a little bit of hoarders to an extent. And we had a lot of room when we had our single family homes to do our hoarding.
Yeah, you're taking a whole lifetime
but
and now
the overflow
bringing it down.
overflows into the common areas and exclusive use common areas. And that just doesn't work. So again, the process begins.
Is there a time frame that you'll give people, like, okay, we've seen it, we'll give it a week or whatever, or
Yeah,
or are you like patrolling these types of things all the time?
Nobody is patrolling to try and find these things. If they just happen to come upon them when they're checking one that was a complaint. But most of these things are some other member has complained and then we go out. Because we don't want to waste the staff time just driving around the neighborhood looking for violations. You know, that's not how it works. It's
Right.
when it becomes something that's an annoyance to the other members and they report it, the majority is found that way.
Okay.
Let's see. Balconies, okay. When moving into the community, residents are asked to break down and stack their moving boxes next to the trash dumpsters or at curbside. If there's a weight and volume restriction, I don't know what that weight and volume restriction is, but if you get over that, you can call resident service, arrange to have the excessive moving material hauled away as a chargeable service. And chargeable services within the community, there's a list of those on the website where you can actually get things done within the community. But it may take a little while because, again, we only have so much staff, we have a lot of vacancies. And so you can still do things that are chargeable service, and they are generally competitive with the outside world or better than the outside world. So,
Okay.
Owners are required to check with the Manor Alterations Department before making any structural or landscape alterations. And it gives a number to contact Manor Alterations. So if in doubt, go either call Alterations or go in to Alterations to the counter and ask the questions. And make sure you tell them you're from Third Mutual, because again, there's different rules for United from the rules for Third Mutual, and you don't want to get them mixed up.
Okay. Good to know.
Next is where they're repeating some of the things that they've already said. Relatives and other guests may stay overnight for a total of 60 days in any 12-month period. Relatives and guests may not stay in a resident's home during the absence of the resident. So this has been emphasized. You initialed this same item twice. So you have to understand, again, that's where violations occur. Generally, neighbors will say, hey, this person's living there. It's a third person, you know, living in a unit where only 2 people are registered. So as far as that goes, you really need to follow the rules. And then Board approval is required for all persons wishing to reside in the community. Contact community services at this phone number before any change in residency status. So again, if you're going to bring a third person in, you need to get approval and consent from the board. And along with that, the maximum number of persons allowed to occupy manor is equal to the number of original construction bedrooms plus one. And there's additional fee, monthly fee for the third occupant. There's a fee from GRF, which is $100 a month, and a fee from third, which is $50 a month. And what that covers is basically you're using the water, you're using the facilities, and the GRF is higher because the facility cost is much higher. We also often have an argument that, well, we're old and we don't use the facilities. Well, it doesn't really matter. You have the ability to use the facilities, and that's part of what you signed up for, which is right here in this document that you signed. The use of the elevator when moving into a multi-story building requires the placement of elevator protection pads, which can be requested through security dispatch. I haven't had any issue with that in the 2 years I've been on the board. So I think people follow that rule simply because they also want to protect their furniture as they're moving in. And then again, this is where they reiterate, condominium owners receive property tax notices and billings directly from the Orange County Tax Assessor's Office. Owners are responsible for paying their own taxes. So if people would just review these 17 items that they signed at the close of escrow, it could alleviate a lot of the problems, a lot of the compliance issues, a lot of the fines, a lot of the hearings, and in essence, that would resolve a lot of costs that are unnecessary if people just follow the rules.
And so you've kind of mentioned the hearings and the fines and like what is like if somebody gets a notice, they're not in compliance, like, and they're wanting to fight it, like what is normally the steps that happen, and then like how much are the fines and that kind of thing?
I'm not an expert on it.
Okay.
And we are revising the fine structure because what we have found that some of the fines are not a deterrent. Right now, the fine schedule is set at $25 to $500. But with somebody not in compliance, say if somebody's leasing out the unit and they're not in compliance and they're making tons of money by being not in compliance, yeah, they'll just pay those little fines. So what we're doing now is, I can't remember what the maximum is that we're moving it up to, but instead of starting at 25, it's going to start at $50 and then go up. Same as the deterrent for people running stop signs, speeding in the village. You know, we just had somebody hit 2 days ago up half a block up from my house, where don't know if the people were speeding, don't know if they ran through the stop sign, just know that somebody was hit. And if you're traveling at the 25 miles per hour, or in some places the 15 miles per hour, or in other places the 10 miles per hour, it could probably stop that problem. But the major problem is running stop signs. And they roll through them. Sometimes they don't even slow down through them if they're going straight. So to avoid problems, and again, somebody is not going to recover. We're at an age where we don't heal very well when we get hit. And one of my other neighbors got hit, and his whole life deteriorated from that.
Wow.
And he was in excellent shape until that happened.
Wow, sorry to hear that. Yeah, so definitely want to help avoid accidents for sure. Even little fender benders, right? Even a 10 mile per hour accident can be serious.
Yeah, big old 2-ton car hitting a 75-pound little tiny person. So.
True. I got hit getting on the on-ramp here at El Toro once, and the hit didn't even put a single dent on my car, but it was loud, and you felt it. And my son, who was in the very back seat, like, he got a concussion from it. So, yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming in, Jim, and going over all of this and explaining it for us. Appreciate it.
And again, just want to encourage people to review the documents they signed at close of escrow.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. So good to see you.
Thank you.
Don't go anywhere, because we have announcements and weather coming up right after this.
Time to play by your own rules. It's out with the old way of getting older and in with the new age of celebrating your age. At Alignment Health, senior health care is all we do. Our Medicare Advantage plans are leading the charge, so you can be the one in charge.
I love being in charge.
Because life should be a celebration, not a resignation. Welcome to a new era of aging. Alignment Health Plan.
Laguna Woods Dental Care, our goal is to serve and provide dental services to the residents of Laguna Woods. Dr. Mohsen Mahmood is currently specializing in senior dental care from USC Dental School and has been serving the Laguna Woods community for over 16 years. At Laguna Woods Dental, our top priority is your overall wellness, ensuring your current medications do not affect your oral health. We offer a convenient plan for $250 a year that includes exam, x-rays, and all types of cleanings are covered. Our office is located right outside of gate number 3. Come book your appointment today.
A will is not enough to avoid probate. However, if you have a will, a trust, a complete estate plan, then you will avoid probate. We encourage you to come meet with us. It's complimentary. We'll review the estate plan, make sure that it's current, covers all of your assets, and you're actually protected.
I'd like to personally thank LS Carlson Law for all my family's estate planning needs. I highly recommend them to everyone.
Hi, I'm Linda Honey. I'd be happy to help you and your family. Please call us today.
Welcome back to This Day. Let's take a look at some announcements and events happening here in the village. We have the Senior Summit coming up. This is on Friday, tomorrow, October 27th at 8:30 a.m. in the morning until 3 p.m. So register by calling 714-834-3550, and this is being held at Soka University. And coming up on Saturday, October 28th at 8 a.m. in the morning, the Senior Center is hosting an all-you-can-eat pancake breakfast and car show fundraiser. Pre-sale tickets are only $7, so call and get your tickets today at 949-380-0155. Otherwise, I believe tickets are about $10 at the event. And now taking a look at the weather, it is turning out to be a gorgeous, beautiful day out there. There'll be some clouds and cool today. It'll be a high of 71 and a low of 57. By tomorrow on Friday, the clouds will have moved out and it'll be mostly sunny with a high of 71 and a low of 54. Going into the weekend, temperatures are going to bump up a little bit and we'll have clear, sunny skies. 72 for the high on Saturday, 78 on Sunday, and 80 degrees on Monday. The nights will be cool though as temperatures drop down into the 50s for the evenings, so you'll definitely need a sweater or a jacket for the evening time. Taking a look ahead tomorrow on This Day, we have Concerned Citizens with Sue Model and Sports Corner with Cole Young. That's it for us here today on This Day. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.
Hi there, I'm Bob Eubanks. Remember me? I'm the king of whoopee. And you're watching Village Television. But everybody does.